Hey, it was back. Try as he might, Wake couldn't banish this shadow. Maybe it had nowhere to be banished to. Maybe it was a wanderer. Maybe it was never in one place. Maybe it was never in one time. Sometimes it would say things, have conversations with people who weren't there or weren't there yet or had been there. It was hard to tell. It would prattle about liminality and other things. Sometimes the advice it gave was relevant. It came in nerve impulses more often than direct statements, but they weren't mutually exclusive. Wake searched himself, searched his thoughts for anything that seemed alien, any voice that wasn't his. He knew the touch of the dark presence. It was heavy, flowing but adhesive, a saccharine narcotic tar that wormed through body and soul alike. He understood the truth of Scratch, simply the writer himself through a mirror darkly. He couldn't find this other shade. He couldn't trace the line between them. For real though, writing in as close to Wake's voice as I can is an excuse to just like fuck around in a style that I never ever would. It's fun and everything, but I don't know. It's too easy. In Lost Things, you know how I feel about easy. This is probably why I'm not marketable. Anyway, apologies for the microphone in the last thing. Apparently it couldn't handle joy. When there's cash for it, we'll do a microphone, but that could be ages from now or never. I don't pretend to know the future. It's a shifting, malleable thing. Indefinite until we purposefully define it, you and I. We'll get back into Alan. We'll see how we're helping define his future. And we'll see if we like the one that we're on right now, you know? We'll give you ears. We'll give you eyes. And we'll get into story mode. We'll continue. Yes, please.
In the dark, I can smell you.
Oh, okay, I have to turn on the lights, because this lady's still freaking out. This doesn't work for some reason. Anyway, she's claiming to be able to smell us, which I guess makes sense for Wake at this point. I don't know when the last time it was that he showered.
You up to telling you what's going on here?
Hey.
We have an art exhibition.
Okay, cool.
Supposed to open tomorrow. I'm the curator. My name's Serena Valdivia.
Alan Wake.
Valdivia?
It is you. I mean, I've seen you on the big screen. I know your wife.
You know Alice? Wait. Big screen.
Yeah, we have a film from her here. What the hell happened to you?
Getting back to Alice.
Oh, God, yeah, sorry. It's quite a coincidence that you're here. She made this short film. I mean, she shot it years ago. You're in it. It's a part of the exhibition.
I'm in a film?
Yeah, it's like... I mean, it's just footage she shot of you at some point, but she turned it into this thing. It's, almost like a memorial of sorts, because, you know, you're supposed to be dead. Or something.
Uh-huh. How's Alice? Is she alright?
She's okay, I guess, all things considered. I know her pretty well. You're really Alan? I can't believe you're here. Nobody knows what happened to you. But there are people who say they've seen you.
That wasn't me. He just looks the same. Like, you know.
Yeah, but that guy's a lot more slimy. The thought of him makes me... I hate him, but there's something about him, this... God, he's so creepy. Anyway, you're not like him. At all. I hope you can stop him.
I mean, they all keep saying that, but I think there's a whole lot of similarity between Scratch and Wake. I almost just said Squake. Just jam the words right together in my head. Alright, well, the projector building is where we're going. Make sure everything's loaded. We're good there, we got flares. We got plenty of handgun ammo. I did go and look up whether or not I was supposed to have enough manuscript pages by now for all of these things that I'm seeing, and the answer was no. So I assume there is more.
I guess it was too much to hope for an alarm and a fat rent.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway. Or we'll be revisiting these areas in some way, shape, or form. I have to destroy these fountains, I guess. Oh. Well, okay then. Check this out. Easy. Is this the other dark fountain? Hello, fountain. Is it mad at me? Oh, there we go. I have to say the weapon handling in this is much nicer. The revolver was slow, like unnecessarily. This feels snappier. You pull the trigger, a thing happens. Not so much delay between. Though, to be fair, you know, fucking... With a revolver, you do end up typically with more felt recoil. Nothing to reciprocate to absorb any kind of force. Okay, we've done it. Scratch, as per usual. A little bit underwhelming. Give me those. Thank you. Okay, let's turn this on. Let's see where we go from here. Oh, motherfucker, that's right, I got him. We've done it.
The chain of light can feel the fragment of the signal in his pocket. The weapon that can change what will be. It's incomplete, but it's all he has.
Okay, well, I can check the manuscript. It was late at night. The summer was almost over. Okay. Can I? I sure can. I sure can play Death Rally. Can I actually play Death Rally? No, I can only watch Death Rally happen. Bullshit. Alright. It's late at night and the summer is almost over. Yeah, it's not January. It ain't May. That'll be it. No, that's an AM. Yes.
Oh, hell, this isn't going right.
No.
You've been up to something, haven't you? Too bad it's not gonna do any good. I'm a better you than you ever will be, and I've got all the time in the world. Everything you've got's going to be mine. Your life. Your wife!
Your knife. Come on, rhyme in threes.
What are you gonna do about it? The sun's never coming up now. I can keep this up forever. Show yourself! Whatever you say, buddy.
Good job, Wake. You didn't even pull the trigger.
The rush of darkness is unstoppable. time itself twists and tears, sweeping the champion of light back with its dark currents. Again, he enters the world, but now he sees the trap for what it is, a maze that loops back into itself.
I'm here again.
Yeah, we sure are. And he keeps feeding me flares and manuscript pages. Well, let's see what this one says.
In Bright Falls, I was constantly under attack by birds that were more shadow than flesh and feathers. But this is an evolution. Some of the Taken were actually capable of turning into a flock of birds to escape my attacks and turning back into human form to make surprise attacks.
Okay, Wake, that was that's a little bit game manual, a little bit strategy guide, but sure. We might be able to dress that passage up, but let's see what else you got. Yeah, we're full up on all that shit. Spider webs. Yeah, no, we're good.
Oh, not birds again. What the hell?
It's really not that nuts, Wake. You ain't never seen a bird guy before? One of my good friends for the past few years is a collection of crows. No, you're not going to keep this from me. There we go. And there we go. Well, let's take a listen.
I'm trapped in the darkness. He has started appearing to me, Mr. He can travel back into the world effortlessly, and he loves to rub my face in it. At first, he was just an echo in the darkness, a flicker beyond the edge of my vision. Now he started showing himself, getting bolder all the time, telling me what a great time he's having in the world while I'm stuck here, and what he plans to do, especially to Alice. All the moves I have left are dangerous and desperate. I have no choice. I have to hunt him.
Well, yeah, Wake, I mean, you gotta tie up your loose ends. This is why Scratch is a rank amateur, by the way. It's because he's you, Wake. Neither one of you is terribly good at this whole violence thing, and you can't leave someone to take revenge later. Oh, there he is. Yeah, the witch added, no matter what, the Antonio Banderas Zorro teaches you. She's right, that entire movie would have taken a whole lot less time if anyone had bothered to tie up their loose ends. Still no need for the pump. I honestly don't suspect we'll be swapping from the carbine. Carbine, however you want to say it. Not a lot of reason to. There is a reason to do this.
I don't make friends easily. I know plenty of people, but I don't let most of them close. I've known Barry Wheeler ever since we were little boys. We had the time of our lives. I'd get us in trouble, and he'd talk us out of it. Things haven't changed that much now that we're grown-ups. He's the most loyal and dependable person I've ever met, and all the things that count anyway. You could call him a weasel, And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. You could call him a clown, and I would reluctantly agree. But he has never let me down.
I don't know, Wake. He's a little bit tacky, but I don't know about Weasel. That seems harsh. I haven't seen Barry try to, like, squirm his way out of any kind of responsibilities or nothing, bud. Fucking chill out.
Emma? You here?
Yeah, and apparently none too happy. Here, let me grab the ammunition first. Mine. Okay. Oh, and there's a page in that room? Apparently? Okay. Did I see something glint, or am I just... Oh, no, I don't think I saw that. No, that would be around the corner. Yeah, it'll just be whenever we get hotel keys again, it seems like. Oh, we're back. She's back. We've been thrown back in time. Hey.
Wow, it is you. I guess all of it really happened.
You remember me?
Kind of. I felt weird all day, like I could almost remember a dream I had, and then, just before sunset, I remembered the page.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go get those things again.
Not all of them. I went out and got them. Well, most of them. I felt stupid at first, but then it was getting dark, and those things started showing up, and one of them made off with the battery. It ran into the railroad tunnel. There was no way I was gonna follow him in there. Sorry.
It's good you didn't. You should be careful. I mean, really careful.
Yeah, I kinda remember something. Something bad happened to me, didn't it?
Forget it. It doesn't have to happen again, okay? Just do what I say.
Yeah, okay. God, this is too weird. Am I going crazy here? Just go get that battery.
Try to stay calm. You're perfectly sane. We're caught in a time loop. That's why this is happening again.
I believe you. God, I feel like I might just lose it any second now. How come you're not freaking out over this?
Because on my personal weird shit-o-meter, this just doesn't rate.
Look, I know something happened to me before...
You're gonna be okay, if you just keep cool, okay? Thanks for getting this stuff for me. It's a big help.
I hope so. Are you gonna make everything blow up at the oil field again?
I have to.
Well, whatever the hell else you might be, at least you're not boring.
I mean, Wake, for a lot of people, time is a flat circle. It doesn't have to be.
Battery. That'll save time.
You know, you change your perspective on it, and now it's a terminating line. The real trick is shaping it to be spherical. If all things are concurrent now, there is no beginning and no end. You simply are. But that's another talk for another time. For right now, it's manuscript time.
Night Springs doesn't exist. It's a fictional town from the TV show I used to work on. It was Any Place USA, a place we used as a backdrop for whatever strange story we had that week. One of the stories I wrote for the show involved a man, the champion of light, fighting his evil double, the Herald of Darkness. It was something I'd written back in the real world, something I had a link to, a framework I could build on. I had adapted it into a new story. This story.
Well, a little basic, Wake, but that's okay. Basic is fine. And grab a flare. Oh, and we can watch this.
Okay, so this chick just came up to me and said she's my biggest fan. I know, they all say that, right? And she's giving me the eye, so I make a couple of moves, we have a couple of drinks, and then things start happening. But I say I have to go to the bathroom first. Uh-oh, right? She's got no idea. Watch this. This is gonna be priceless.
That's nice.
I thought you'd like that. Are you tense? You feel a little tense.
Maybe a little. I had a crappy day.
Yeah?
Don't worry, it's improving real fast.
Yeah.
Hey, don't stop. It's just getting good.
Watch this. Yeah! Did you see that? Oh man! Did you see her? Boom!
It's not really a boom so much it was a gurgle, I guess. Also, where's the arterial spray?
But on a rare occasion, the line between fact, fiction, imagination, and reality becomes hopelessly blurred, and nowhere convincingly as in Night Springs.
Alright, well. Scratch continues to, be unable to recover from the whole fucking stuck in the middle with you scene from Reservoir Dogs, I guess. I'm sure if he had been exposed to a whole bunch of teenagers in the middle of nowhere, he would be their favorite character of all. Do a manuscript page.
Now Night Springs is in Arizona, although not for long. It's in Arizona because whatever the town that has become Night Springs is really called is located near one of the thin, worn places in the world where dreams and reality flow together and life is always a little strange. Perfect analogy for Night Springs. I can't return to the real world, I've tried, but I'm operating on dream logic, forcing the door open a crack so I can slip through. I can enter the strange little town of Night Springs. All I did was put it in Arizona for one night.
Okay, well, you know, we're working on our subtlety. That's good, Wake. Glad to see that. Glad to see that you're considering new angles. And not simply saying, you know, and then I escaped, goodbye. Because it seems like the typewriter does not work that way. It also seems like we're out of things to pick up out here for the time being. So let's go get that battery. What do you think?
This should be perfectly safe.
No big deal so far. Let's see what's over here. Because that way is where it wants us to go. Who put this old fucking rusted car chassis in there? So. Anyway.
Now I just need her to charge this up.
Yeah. And now we just have these happening. Am I not allowed to leave the way that I went, or... Oh, I'm stuck on that. I see. Are you still following me? No. Oh no, they're also outside. Look out for spiders. There's somewhere else I can just grab a fucking thing. Get out of my way. Yeah, huh? They have very large collision boxes for things that small. They also make a lot of noise. I'm not sure if that's going to wind up recorded. Who knows? Well, Pi, I don't know, dude. Okay. I mean, there we have that. Let me take that flare back. Oh, did I trigger more of them? It seems like I did, right? But also I don't see them, so I don't care. I'm just gonna go. Now what the fuck was this? The Magnum. Well, it's unlocked. I guess try it, right? 16 rounds? Absolutely not. That's a nope. Everything I've come up against in this game so far has been a war of attrition. 16 rounds ain't gonna cut it. Can I go in there yet? No. I was wondering if it was going to shorten the sequences per loop or if this was just kind of what we were doing. It seems like this is just kind of what we're doing.
Okay, I'll charge it. Here. Try not to get killed.
Okay. I'm gonna take care of this. Try to stay calm.
Look, what if you stay here with me, please?
I'm sorry, but if I don't deal with this, no one else will.
Ugh, yeah, I guess. It's just that this is getting really creepy. I believe this is real, but I don't understand any of it. I'm getting scared. I can't believe you're so calm.
I get scared, but I've had a lot of time to get used to it. That helps. The guy who looks like me is the reason this is happening. I caught up with him, but he swept me back here.
Back in time.
Yeah, it's a trap. We'll be doing this forever unless I can break out of it.
How are you gonna do that?
I'm working on it. I came prepared, but things got kind of scrambled when I arrived. I'm tracking down the things I need.
Yeah, well, feel free to climb back into your DeLorean or whatever it is you do.
Okay. A little bit limp-wristed on the reference, but I'll take it. Some more bits. That's that one, that's in there. Oh, we got more radio stuff.
Okay, people, it's Eddie Rodman here with a few hours to kill, and there's nobody I'd rather spend them with. Nobody else in the whole world. Oh boy, that'll land me in hot water when I get back home, won't it? Well, just in case my wife is listening, and you always are, aren't you, baby? Let me tell you, you are the exception, honey, and the prettiest lady I ever saw at a boot. But I'd really like to spend some quality time with you listeners, because, well, tonight's one of those nights. You're sitting in the studio and you kind of forget how long it's been or what day it is. You just sit here and go through the motions. Might as well have been here forever. Keep talking, but you don't even know what you're saying. It's like you're on automatic. You can't stop the ride and get off. It's times like these that I really wish that somebody would just call in and relieve my boredom. How about it? Anybody? Come on now, help a fella out. Our lines are open.
Well, a little desperate, a little lonely, but not everyone's suited to the night shift. Does take a specific kind of person. You have to be comfortable being alone. Not that you must crave it, but it should be fine. It should be a thing that you can tolerate indefinitely. That and tedium. If you're the sort of person that gets restless when they're bored, I wouldn't recommend after-hours work. Yep. Yeah, it means the other one's got like one left in him. There we go. Well, we'll go and get more. Let's see how many handgun rounds it takes. Never mind. He just happened to land right by that barrel. Yeah, okay, yeah. Wheel was in place and the oil was flowing. You gotta do the things. Got it. Yeah. Fucking flowing. We got copyrighted music. Touch. Here we got it again. Did you like it the first time? Is it better this time? So how did that work for you? Is it still pretty good, or? I see he ignored my rewrite suggestions, but isn't that classic Wake? I mean, he's already at a casual jog. And then, yeah. And then I gotta go over here. Oh, this time there's opposition. Okay. Oh, sure. Or was there last time? I kind of fucking forget. The music stopped. I guess we're too far away.
Should be in trouble. Better hurry.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing some extra bullets. You know how it is, Wake. You know how it is.
Emma! Coming! This is not the bad thing! Nothing!
So,
Head down!
okay.
It's okay. It's safe now.
That looks over. Yep. Touch.
I got a really bad feeling about all of this.
I'm gonna need those keys to the diner now. There's a motel key there that I have to get.
Oh, hey, you don't have to do that. I have the motel master key. I work for the same company, you know. What's at the motel?
Well, there's a dead guy. He's got
I mean, there's also us. We're at the motel right now.
God, that's awful. Hey, you wanted to know about the guy who looked like you, didn't you?
The last time you said he had a party, but you didn't go.
No, that's not true. I did go. It was really great at first, and then I didn't see it myself, but I hear he turned nasty. He hurt a bunch of guys pretty bad, and there was this girl, she died. But I didn't hear about that until afterwards. I thought that he was so charming.
And then he went to the diner.
That's right. I wasn't involved with that at all. I don't know what happened.
Fine. I need to check out these motel rooms. In the meantime, you stay here, okay? I'm serious. Keep the lights on and stay here.
Yeah, okay, you got it. I sure hope you're right about this.
You're gonna stay here this time, right?
Because the last time I didn't, and that thing, whatever it is, happened to me.
Yeah. I don't want you to get hurt again.
I mean, no, the bulb blew or a fuse blew.
But I learned my lesson.
Good.
Neither of you learned anything.
It happened exactly the same way this time around. You proved that much when you went out and got those things for me. I think you're gonna be okay.
Let's hope you're right.
No, but neither of you learned anything because you weren't paying attention to what happened. This old chair.
This wasn't supposed to happen
The
again!
memory of her own fate haunts Emma Sloan and fills her with dread. This time, she does as she's told. It's not enough to save her.
Yeah, because neither one of you fucking understood what actually happened. You didn't bother to break it down. You just went, oh, well, I'll just do something different this time. And this kind of like brute force trial and error bullshit never works. Not when you're dealing with a problem that's like fucking polyvalent, whatever. That's the sort of shit for like rudimentary puzzles. You can brute force those. Alright. Wake's friends.
Alice and Barry, my wife and my best friend, are easily the two most important people in my life. And they've never really gotten along with each other. I suppose both of them resent the other's intrusions into what they considered their domain. After I was gone, they maintained an uneasy truce. My book stayed in print, still selling, the licensing machine churned away. She was my wife and controlled the intellectual property. He was my agent and took care of the business. I wish they found more common ground than that.
Alan, have you considered that Barry might be in love with you, and that's why they're in competition? Otherwise, you know, the witch is not in competition with my friends. The crows don't compete for attention. Alright, well, this is that guy again. Gimme.
It's said that nobody knows what the future might bring, but for this man, it's no longer entirely true. A weaker man might simply give up, but the champion of light is an expert on destiny. Sometimes the puppet and puppeteer can be one and the same.
You missed your shot to say writer and director. You missed it. Anyway, back to the observatory.
Mount Redtooth, its top littered with man-made eyes that stare into the endless depths of space. Tonight, the champion of light will depend on them to pick out a message from the ether.
I mean, if part of the problem is that the satellite got knocked out again, we could do that rewrite that I suggested, and we wouldn't knock the satellite out, and then we'd be able to fucking bounce the signal off the satellite and probably get it here. Alright.
As history repeats itself, the man remembers the patterns. He knows that he needs the missing part for the telescope.
I mean, he doesn't remember much, though. He picks and chooses what he remembers. I'm sorry? Do you already have something to say to me? Yeah, you do. Ooh, whiffed that first shot. Oop. Hey, you. Knock it off. Okay. Still no to the pump action. And okay.
Oh, praise be. You guys are coming through for me. A pretty little light just started blinking on my board here, and that means there's a caller out there. You know, when the hours stretch into eternity like this, when it feels like I'm stuck in a rut and just reliving the same endless night over and over again, I feel genuinely touched by someone actually reaching out to me, breaking the monotony. I just want you to know that it really matters to me. Caller, you're on the air. You suck, Eddie! Did you know that this is my dream job? True fact.
I mean, that seems mean. You stayed up all night to just be like, you suck, Eddie. I don't know, I've never felt that strongly about any one particular entertainer. If I don't like their stuff, I don't go and see or consume their stuff. That's the end of it. Okay, Dr. Meadows.
The atmosphere in the projection booth at the drive-in was charged, almost unreal. Despite that, the air felt cool and refreshing this late at night. It'd been a hot day. The summer was nearing its end, but it wasn't over yet. When Dr. Rachel Meadows got the call from Michael, telling her to hurry to the observatory, she didn't waste any time. It had been a nice party. She'd had a good time, but her social life would always play second fiddle to the mysteries of space. Michael never showed up, of course. He pulled over at the wrong rest stop. She never even thought about him at the time. The phenomenon in the sky above her was too fascinating.
Okay then. So we've been filled in on the piece of the manuscript that we already knew because Dr. Meadows told us, you know. Came right out and said that she was at a party, got a call to come over. Michael, the guy that she worked with, never showed up. Well, he fell. And okay. Let's see.
There are places where our world is worn thin, and another reality brushes against ours. One such site is Cauldron Lake near Bright Falls, Washington. But there are others. That other reality is dark, vast, and malleable, always in flux. In its depths dwell vast forces and alien energies. They're dangerous. But in one of these places, if you know how, you can channel the power of that place and use it to shape reality.
I mean, you know, that also depends on where it is you go in these other places. I'm sure you've heard the phrase infinite diversity and infinite combinations. Alan doesn't really seem familiar with that concept, does he? It's very much is or isn't for Alan.
The darkness rose from the depths of Cauldron Lake and took Alice. It needed words. It needed me to write its way into our world. She was leverage, a hostage. I complied, but with a twist. I put in a loophole that gave me a chance to fight back. I was hunted by shadowy enemies, but I faced the darkness. I fought it with light. I drove it back. I saved Alice, but it came with a cost. I was trapped in the dark place below Cauldron Lake.
Well, I mean, we know that it came with a cost, but we're still not entirely sure why. We have the array just ahead of time. So we can go up there and be like, hey, I already have it. I'm glad that Wake is now trying to speed run this. Just go ahead and break the sequence. Oh, it's birds. Well, come get it. And you missed. Alright. Up the hill we go. It's a really low capacity Beretta. But then we've heard that spiel of mine before. Y'all got pages back here? Page time? Page-a-palooza? No. I like their percussive background music for this spot. It's nice. I don't know that it's entirely fitting for the horror vibe, but I still like it. There we are. We're at 29.
Stories come naturally to us. We can't help it. There are many different worlds, many competing realities within our heads, fueled by books, television, even barely remembered childhood tales. There's an endless supply of fictional concepts more familiar to us than anything or anyone real. We have a far greater connection to the fictional characters we know and love than the random people we pass on the street. Our destinies and inspirations are shaped by lies, myths, and fables.
To an extent, I agree. I think that maybe we're giving stories a bit too much credit there, Wake, but I will absolutely agree that fiction plays a non-zero part in shaping worldviews and conveying concepts and you know, just perception of what is good and is not good, what's worth celebrating and what isn't. But at the same time, it's also one of those chicken and egg situations where someone's got to believe it before they write it down, and then when they write it down, someone will not have known that they believed it until they were exposed to it, and on and on and on like that in a cycle. The pages. Yeah, motherfucker. I wanted to jump right into that. Did you bring friends? Something happened. I think it's one of the guys who throws things. It seems like a throw things guy. But I don't see him. So I'm gonna pick up this page up here, and then I'm gonna listen to both of them. And he can come make a thing about it if he wants. Gimme. Okay.
After my disappearance, they thought I was dead. I might as well have been. I know it's been 2 years. I know Alice has moved on. I've tried to find a way back to her, back to my life, but escaping the dark place is almost impossible. Time does strange things here, but dreams and radio signals can pierce the veil between the worlds. I catch glimpses and echoes of the world. Sometimes I send messages out. I can only pray that they hear them. The Taken may well be the tool the darkness favors over any other. At some point, they used to be human, but whatever humanity they once had is long gone. Now they're just shells covered and filled by darkness. The taken Mr. throws at me are more grotesque and varied than the ones I first encountered in Bright Falls. But I know how to deal with them. I'd be lying if I said they don't frighten me. But I've survived worse. I can't let them stop me.
Well, there we go. He's survived worse than these guys that are a little bit different, I guess. Not what I would consider significantly, though. You know, Bird's teleport is not much different than just pops up behind you on account of because. Splits into many boys is not much different than just throwing a horde up and letting you decide how many rounds you're going to spend on it. Grenade guys knew. They did throw things before, but they weren't like little pipe bombs.
How dare you?
Yeah.
It isn't you, is it? I suppose...
The camera follows us.
I'll unlock the door.
Thanks.
The mechanic remembers, but the doctor doesn't. I gotta watch this.
I know what you're thinking. Evil twin, supernatural powers. But most of the time, I just like to keep things basic. I want you to understand that. Like this. Need to get your hands dirty? No batteries, no moving parts, just physics. That's technology you can depend on. It's a classic.
My fucking guy here, Mr. Scratch, has a fucking Redditor's everyday carry collection here.
You need to be careful with
It's like 7 knives, an axe, a hammer.
twists. You might end up cutting yourself. It's not really a workhorse, but I'm a sucker for this style.
What, a razor?
Now this is more like it. You've got slip-resistant grip. Believe me, you really want that traction once you're wrist deep in somebody. The blade's stiff enough so it won't open by accident in your pocket, but it's still really easy to open with just one hand. Now that's a big thing for me. I know what you're thinking. It's too big, too heavy. But sometimes you just need the extra oomph. If you're talking intimidation, this is gonna do the job. Also great for dismemberings and whatnot.
It's not. You're not gonna get through the bone with that. Like, that's what the axe would be for, or the saw.
I can't tell you how many things I've MacGyvered with this stuff.
Is that a high point?
Now, guns.
No.
Fans.
Okay.
I mean, how are you supposed to really connect with somebody with a bullet?
From far away.
I want you to understand that. I take pride in what I do. We can't both be worthless hacks, can we?
Okay, but you're still objectively bad at it. You're talking about dismembering someone with a fucking camping knife. There's an axe and a saw right there. Honestly, so breaking bone, particularly thick bones, you're gonna have an easier time with a chopping implement. That's why it is that meat cleavers exist in butcher shops and shit. But you gotta give it some solid wax.
I have the replacement part for your telescope, Doctor.
So
Let's get it installed.
if you look at it as kind of cutting wood, there you go. You have your tool. The saw's gonna take time. You're gonna get tired. The knife is just a non-starter, and it's fucking ridiculousness. Anyway, absolutely everything that he's picked up there also allows the victim to fight. Which, if he took pride in his work...
Start it up yet. There's a problem with the coolant system.
Yes, that's right. I remember. All right, let me think.
Oh, it's a flare round.
Sabotaging it, there'll
Give
be
me.
a primary coolant pipe outside. If you can secure it, we should be ready to pick up the signal. That is why you're here, isn't it?
Yes.
I'll take care of it.
Before you go, if you have the time, I'd appreciate if you came up here and explained a few things. All of this is very strange to me.
Yeah, sure. We got a moment. But yeah, fucking all this talk of him taking pride in what he does is a lack of practical knowledge of his tools. And lack of practical knowledge of your tools is, you know, a clear mark of an amateur.
Hello.
I don't quite know what's going on, but I seem to remember having had this encounter before.
Yeah, we did.
It's not deja vu, Doctor. This has happened before. We're caught in a time loop.
That's utterly insane. How could that be?
I can't really explain it. I suppose I could call it magic.
I don't believe in magic.
Neither do I, but I can't argue with what I've experienced. Listen, what matters now is the signal. The last time we only caught a part of it. I need the rest of it. Whether you believe me or not, you want to look into this as much as I do, right?
Yes. All right.
I realize that you have trouble believing this.
That's an understatement. I can't deny that what you say resonates with me on some level I don't pretend to understand. But for all I know, I'm simply delusional.
But it's not just you. I've experienced the same thing as you. Doesn't that prove something, at least?
No.
Maybe. On the other hand, given your appearance, and the fact that you're trying to convince me that I'm not insane, perhaps you're merely a hallucination that accompanies my delusions.
You're not having a psychotic episode, Doctor. For what it's worth, I'm a skeptic by nature. I completely understand your reluctance to believe me.
There are people caught so deep in their psychosis that they retroactively manufacture memories and beliefs that conform to the situation at hand.
Sure, but you have to stop second-guessing yourself at some point.
You don't.
Get something done.
No, that's not true. We can just leave it as, I don't have a good explanation. This is what it is that we've got going on. Maybe point to how else would I have known that you kept the replacement part in the trunk of your car? Something provable, you know, like this thing that we just did. Anyway, out we go. We're going somewhere else this time. Looks like we're trying to stop the sabotage from happening. Keep them from throwing their sabots into the machinery. That's where the word comes from, you know. There's a wood shoe in the gears. Sabo is a shoe? I think so. I'll wind up checking that shortly, I'm sure. It'll bug me. Right now, I'm just trying to stay focused on the task at hand. Oh good, they let me shoot through the fence. Oh, that's quite nice. Thank you very much. Well, that's my own fault. So, yeah, I was right. It's a clock from France. Nailed it. Thank you, darling.
These beams hate the light, am I correct?
Can you hear me?
You should be able to turn on the lights and secure the area that way. All right.
Yeah,
To the signal. Please, head back.
Okay. Sure, I guess. Oh no, not that car.
I guess they didn't like that.
No, they don't appear to like that. Oh, I got plenty of flare gun rounds, in case they want to throw some more cars. Scratch doesn't really seem to be capable of throwing cars the same way that Barbara was, huh? You can kind of move stuff around, but he can't just shit whip us with a bus.
That mountain's trying to kill me.
Didn't even make it past the generator, huh? What'd I get clobbered by? Oh. That time I somehow dodged into it? I suppose that's my own fault. And I think that's everything. Looks like everything. Alright. Yeah, I get it. That's okay. I have plenty of tools. Yes. Yes. Sure. I guess those don't refill ammunition, huh? Yeah, well, there's an ammo box right inside. Open, please. Wait, are none of these fix-it lights? Okay. Sure. Oh, that's right, I have a fuckload of flashbangs too.
Please, come up here.
Alright. If she's up there and is like, if only someone hadn't fucked up our satellite, I'm gonna lose my mind.
You find the signal?
Woo.
Yes.
It's that camera angle again.
We had, the last time. Still, we're definitely picking it up.
Are we getting the complete signal now?
I'm afraid not. Take a look at it yourself. I'm printing out a hard copy now. I'd like to ask you a question or two before that, though, if you don't mind.
What's on your mind, Doctor?
Most people would find these events extremely disturbing, provided that they survive these creatures, that is. You seem to be quite adept at dealing with the situation. Why is that?
Yes, I was in
Practice. Moving on, next question.
I was in this small town, and a horrible thing from another dimension kidnapped my wife and manipulated me into writing this horror story that came true. I learned to fight it with light, and I managed to contain it and free my wife. But I was trapped in its world.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. So, I'm used to reality working in strange or even impossible ways. And I fought these things, not exactly like this, but close enough for a good while now. Of course, I have certain advantages.
Wake, brevity. Brevity, remember. Don't say in 500 words what you could say in 5.
Was there anything else?
What did you mean when you said you have advantages?
At the risk of sounding like a lunatic, reality is much more fluid than people think. It can be influenced.
I didn't take you for a mystic.
I'm not. I'm a writer. And under certain conditions, I can, for lack of a better word, rewrite reality. Change things.
That's absurd.
But it works.
Assuming I believe this, why don't you simply, I don't know, write yourself some superpowers?
Great question.
Not quite that simple. You need to follow certain laws of drama, I suppose. You need to think about consistency and symbolism. Often what you write isn't anywhere near as important as what you imply. There are things out there that will take advantage of your mistakes.
You really believe in this?
I mean, Wake, like I said before, there's narrative precedent for the supernatural already within this story, so, you know, some sort of personal manipulation of the forces at play here is not out of the question. You have the rules of drama in your favor, you just lack the imagination to utilize them. Let's go ahead and take this for example. Say that Wake is typing away within the cabin and he feels this dark presence and it's familiar. He realizes that, Scratch didn't come from nothing, and therefore Scratch's connection to the darkness, his ability to manipulate it, also must not come from nothing. If we are mirrors, well then, isn't there a reciprocating force on his end? Boom, I did it. It's not that hard. You're just a fucking goofball. Anyway, we gotta tell her not to look at us like that.
Don't look at me like that. You've experienced some of this yourself.
I will gladly admit that something exceedingly strange is going on. But this idea that you're somehow altering reality with your writing is ridiculous. You're essentially saying you're controlling my actions. Leaving aside the rational arguments against this, what gives you the right?
Well, it's more like having a destiny. A path you're on. You're not aware of it, but there it is. If somebody changes it, what difference does it make? It's what every writer does. If you write something that affects one of the characters, they don't really know about that.
I'm not a character. Are you saying that it's all right to take advantage of someone if they aren't aware of it?
Look, all I meant was that if you're genuinely making all your own decisions, and those decisions lead to whatever destiny you have, what practical difference does it make?
I suppose that depends on whether our destinies are determined by things like physics and probabilities, or natural reality, which is presumably neutral and impartial, or by some kind of an intelligence. If it's the latter, that intelligence makes choices based on some criteria. If we suffer as a result of those choices, there's a moral and ethical element involved, regardless of whether we're aware of its manipulations. Wouldn't you agree?
You're taking this very well. I thought you'd be hangry.
I suppose I would be if I thought you could actually do this.
Thank you, Dr. Meadows, for just going ahead and engaging him on that fucking thing. I couldn't have said it better myself. Wake, you're a monster and a dullard. That's okay, though. You're my monster and dullard for right now.
Another printout. Another signal fragment. The message is still not complete, but it's another piece of the weapon he has built against his adversary. Mere words on a piece of paper, but in the right hands, they will hold back the darkness.
Back to the theater.
The last time the man came to the drive-in, it did not end well. He hopes to avoid that fate this time. He hopes that what he has brought with him to this place is enough.
I mean, fucking maybe, but we don't have near enough manuscript pages yet, so I'm gonna say I don't think so.
Ugh. Serena's probably out of her mind again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that key so I can get the power back on.
Manuscript page.
To change the world, you must craft a blueprint for the new reality. Any work of art will do, as long as it's a genuine act of creation. That's what the energies of the dark place respond to. The results may be subtle and perplexing, or far-ranging and momentous. My area of expertise, the written word, gives much more precise results than music or interpretive dance would, for instance. But words can be extremely dangerous. What you define may become reality, but so can that which you imply, even if you don't realize you're doing so.
So the Dark Place's nemesis is like an extremely practiced and precise legislator or lawyer. I mean, Barry is threatening to use his lawyers all the time. He might want to get him involved on this. Spider? Probably somewhere. Well, we have enough to open it. Let's just see. 12. Do I pick up more? 26, which is okay. I'm wondering if we can pick up even more. There's an ammo box in there. Because if so, we may be in business. How fast does it reload? Fast enough. This may make encounters much, much quicker. Hello.
You again?
Yeah, hey.
I'm really just here to get the keys so I can get the power back on.
Do you want to hold me down? It's okay. I know you like that.
Yeah.
Lady.
Just grab the keys.
I could be like your wife. Little wifey.
Gross.
Waiting at home for hubby.
No, don't.
Or you could be the mailman. Or the neighbor.
I'm already married to someone who isn't crazy, thanks. I'm just...
She's not crazy. She's afflicted with supernatural sauce.
Look, I may or may not be back. I have the access code to the booth already, so once the power is on...
You should totally come see me. We could have fun. You know.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm not gonna try to give her advice. She's clearly not quite with it right now. Okay. Gimme. It looks like 30 is the most that it carries. We'll see how well that does.
About to do the weather, but I see we have a caller. Hey, you're on the air with Eddie. What's up?
Hey, Eddie, it's Ricky. You talked about fate before. You think about that a lot?
Not a lot, to be honest, but I take it you do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Any conclusions you'd care to share, Ricky?
Well, we've got free will, right? That's in the Bible and everything.
Yeah, right, sure.
So free will, right? Am I right? I mean, if we can do what we want, how can there be fate? I mean, you don't know what's gonna happen next, so there's no fate. There's just people doing stuff.
Well, I don't know, Ricky. I don't suppose you have considered the possibility that we're all here in the service of a greater purpose, incomprehensible to us,
and that what we take to be freedom is nothing more than the move of a pawn on some cosmic chessboard, limited in scope, subject to the whims of unseen players,
existing only for their entertainment.
Or perhaps we're just a twisted
reflection
of actual events that can happen elsewhere. Could it be that such is life in Night Springs?
Dude, what?
Food for thought, Ricky. Food for thought.
I mean, sure, that's comforting sometimes, but I mean, we've been over the whole ease thing. It's a hard pill to swallow to imagine that you are here not for any reason and not to any end. But I find that it's also comforting to understand that. You know, nothing is expected. You simply do your thing. And the thing you do is defined by you. This is very good. We fucking KO'd those guys immediately. Let's see if they got pages up here at the souvenir shack. It's illuminated, so, you know, the eye is drawn to it. Hello, pages. Just the crossbow. Page. Gimme. And now, The listening.
I have changed. I know who I am now. I know that I can write my own fate. Bright Falls taught me that. I know that indulging my weaknesses, giving in to fear and complacency will only drag me down. The dark place taught me that. I'm no Zen master. I've not attained enlightenment. But I have learned to let go of the things that I don't need. I know that without that balance within, I become my own worst enemy. Now I strive for equilibrium, and with that, I'm strong enough to get where I want.
Well, good for you, Wake. I mean, you're getting there, bud. You've recognized what needs to happen and what isn't happening, it seems. So, hey, progress is progress. And credit where it's due. The loading on those trees is pretty intense. Hey, Scratch. Are we doing this again? You missed. Aim better, dipshit. Bye. Okay, so one, even though that doesn't make sense, one sawed-off double barrel shot means roughly 2 carbine rounds worth of damage. We're ready. Touch.
I want to talk about Alice.
Okay.
Just look at her. She's really beautiful, isn't she? Your wife? Well, our wife, really. Just my wife soon. Don't worry. I'm not gonna treat her like the others. She's special. If I wanted her dead, she would be. I've been around for a while now. So talented. You haven't seen her new work, of course. Oh, it takes my breath away. Really, she's that good. Did you know that I've got a wedding ring, too? We're that similar. She's seen me a couple times, you know. I've let her catch glimpses. She thinks she's imagining things, of course. She thinks you're dead. It might as well be. I mean, even if you manage to keep surviving, you'll be in my trap forever. So I'll go to her. It'll be an amazing moment. Oh my God, you're alive. I'll be the good, loving husband for as long as I can stand it. She'll love it. And then, one day, somehow, it'll happen. Maybe I'll slip up, she spots something, or maybe she just starts running her mouth. And then, I'll do it. It's gonna be sweet. My darling wife.
Well, I mean, this is also assuming that I think that he could take her in a straight fight. I don't really have any faith in Wake's and therefore Scratch's ability to take most people in a straight fight. You'd figure Alice, of all people, would be on guard. And he seems to react poorly to light, which would tip off any of Alan's inner circle, I would imagine. Anyway, I'm looking around for stuff. I want those pages. There's one down there. I saw that on the fucking radar. Doesn't appear to be any here. Also, why'd you put this town in Arizona for a night? Like, that doesn't... Why? Why not on familiar territory? Here's another page. Here's more ammo.
The trap Mr. has set for me is as simple as it is impossible. Whenever I reach him, he sends me back to the beginning of the maze. It's a loop in time. I go through it only to end up where I started. There's a brutal genius to it. If I die, it's over for me. If I survive, I end up where I started. Sooner or later, the odds will catch up with me. And in the meantime, he gets to toy with me. But that's why I have a chance. He's caught in this pattern just as much as I am. I know where he'll be, and I'm prepared.
Sweet roundabout brag there, Wake. This isn't brutal genius. This is how a child operates. You're in a maze. Well, a maze means that it can be solved. If it can't be solved, I'm not in a maze, am I? And it's not really a trap. We didn't fall into this. We were ejected into it. We're more like in a catch basket. Which, you know, it's a basket. It's not that crazy. Wow, a lot of boys guarding this one. Oh, I got several of these. You guys still like those? Yeah, you like those a lot. Well, that's over.
I have created the weapon that can put an end to this. A blueprint to a new reality. All I have to do is survive long enough to use it. My arrival from the dark place will be painful and difficult. These pages may be lost. But one way or another, I'll send the parts I really need to myself. If I make it outside, I have a chance. Mr. is more powerful than I am, but he can't change the rules in the middle of the game. He's not a creator. I am.
Okay, well, I mean, you could also then change the rules to, like, depower him or something. Alright, down we go. Did that refill? Have I been far enough for it to refill? Oh, it's on the outside. Yeah, looks like. Cool. Grabbed. Alright. Down we go. Oop. Almost missed it. Gimme.
It's obvious that for all his power, Mr. is an agent of another greater being. The dark place he came from is full of terrible alien intelligences, dark presences, and none of them should be let loose in our world. He serves one of them. He'll open the way for them if I don't stop him. But he'll do more. He'll take over my life. He already has my face. He already uses my name. He'll become Alan Wake in every way imaginable and corrupt everything, unless I can stop him.
Yeah, it's a process called mantling. This is why it is you don't give spirits your true name. Or why you keep several under your belt. That whole walk like them until they walk like you business.
You're like a little hamster in a wheel. Go ahead and keep running for all the good it'll do you.
I mean, you keep saying that, but we've been in mild peril once? game. There we go. I guess the gun kind of clipped through him. Also, I got a twofer on one of them. That was pretty good. Maybe next time. Yeah, fuck it. Let's experiment a little bit. We don't want things getting too stale. Grab that ammunition. What green light was on that gate? Is that inside the building? It seems like it is. Also stuff over there. Am I going over there again? Well, I mean, I am now. Regardless of what I'm supposed to do. Should be around here, right? There it is. Good. More.
The dark place is utterly hostile to human life. It eats at your mind, wants you to succumb to madness. Your own thoughts can turn against you. Every shadow conceals a threat that attacks at the slightest sign of weakness. You're under endless assault. Every day is a struggle for survival.
Yeah, they're supposed to be your lover, not your rival.
I focus on Alice, our life together, my need to be with her. That takes me a long way in the dark place. As long as I have my gun and the flashlight.
I mean, yeah, sure. It sounds like home. A place where words and information are weapons. And the people you have to watch the most are the people that are closest to you. Only they know the way inside your armor. The witch is making threats now. She's like, that better not still be true. No, if anyone could do me harm, it's her. And that's, you know, part of the trust and vulnerability involved in any sort of lasting relationship.
For Serena Valdivia, burning the midnight oil was more of an exception than a rule. A procrastinator and a perfectionist, she often worked when she wouldn't be disturbed. Tonight was especially important. The film festival would open tomorrow, and there was still so much to sort out. It wasn't that the work hadn't been done. She just didn't feel like she had completely mastered everything yet.
Wouldn't that mean that it's not an exception, it is more a rule than an exception? Like she typically does this? Small error, but this is why it is you'd want an outside editor. Someone to read it over, give you feedback, fresh eyes. There's no shame in it. The only shame where any kind of ego is concerned is, well, giving in to that ego. Let's see if this works the same way as it did before. No, it does not. So maybe it's just that one that's on and the other two that are off. Because that's what it seems to be showing me. Click. Yes. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was a trap or if that was, you know, actually giving me a solution. Touch. Bye. Uh-huh. Oh boy. With the... They just kind of stick you there, huh? That's fine. We got plenty of flares. Oh, you're making me take a longer route this time, are you? Or is this just a spot that I ducked to for no reason? Yeah, I just ducked to for no reason. That's fine. Okay, bye. And... oh, it's more spiders. Well, you know what? Does this just fizzle out when I touch it? It do. Oh well. I was hoping that they would be dumb enough to try to leap at me and do it. No such luck. Okay, bye. Oh, alright. So, like, I pretty much just leave, right? That's about it. I don't... yeah, I don't see an arc there, so I'm just gonna... yeah. Yeah. Well... goodbye. Hey.
Die, you lose. If you quit, you lose. If you make it to the end of the loop, you still lose. Sucker.
Alright. It spends a lot of ammunition to do that, but I guess at least it's quick. Bye. Bye again. Gimme. Okay. Well, I tried it. I prefer the carbine. I want to be able to prioritize at least on one of them, you know? Something to ping things at long distances that still operates fairly quickly. Oh, there he is with that guy choking him improperly, and you know, because he makes noise, which would mean that he's not, you know, you haven't restricted the airway enough. That is how that works. Yeah. Okay, but can I turn the thing back on up at the lady's place because her brain's still bad? I'm gonna try to do that regardless of what the game wants. There we go. I guess I was too far away. So that's something to remember. This one's got a damage fall off. Probably works pretty similarly damage-wise to the double barrel in the first game, right? That'd be my thought. So yeah, we got the dark fountains. I would like to help this lady. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, okay? Okay. Let's find out if I'm allowed to. Yeah. Here we go.
It's you.
Yeah, hey.
Guess you're back to normal again?
I don't know if I'm ever gonna be normal, but thanks. I know you didn't have to come back for me like this.
I couldn't just leave you like that. I'm sorry about the whole thing.
Not your fault. At least I'm not Little Miss Whoreslut anymore. Ugh, that's just... Hey, thanks for not, you know, taking advantage.
I mean, you shouldn't have to thank me for that. That should just be the way things are.
You don't seem too weirded out even though this is happening again.
Honestly, that pales in comparison with having that thing inside my head. I mean, it's crazy, but...
I understand. I can really mess you up.
this is weird. I think what he did left something. I can feel that things are different. I just know that time's acting wrong. I don't know how to describe it. It's like I can sense it.
I'm not surprised. A close encounter with these forces, it stays with you. Changes the way you see things. Some people can't deal with that. They just lose it.
Well, it's early yet. I'm not ruling anything out.
I'm gonna go make my way into the projector booth.
Okay. Is there anything I can do? About the situation, I mean?
No. It's a trap for me. I'm gonna have to go deal with it.
Uh-huh. And you got a plan, is that it?
I think I have a chance. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, you'd probably talk to her, see what she knows. But Alan is going to assume that only he can do this. There we go. There's some uncomfortable implications about, like, the darkness, right? And what it is that maybe the writers have unintentionally said about women. That, oh, well, you know, if they are overtaken with the darkness, then this lady here, she is just fucking DTF. The darkness, you see. And I don't know, man. Again, I'm certain, well, I can't even say certain. I would hope that they did not mean it that way. That is entirely accidental. But I don't know. Well, that one it let me clip through, the others not so much. There we go. Grab these. Our loadout's a little bit boomer, isn't it? We got some real fucking antiques that we're whipping around. To be fair, Gen X is also a fan of these things. Okay, well, I mean, fuck it then, right? Why even? Here, check this out, boys. That's pretty good, right? We don't even need to spend time fighting them individually. We have so many of these flare gun rounds. More than enough for an additional time loop, which I'm sure is coming. It's coming. It's gonna get here. Because again, we don't have nearly enough manuscript pages. Yeah, right. Fucking code.
The Champion of Light knows that the time itself is about to end. At least for him. He can feel the dead end rushing towards him. But there is time to act. Incomplete or not, he has the weapon.
Late at night, summer was almost over, film noir poster, spotlight. But maybe it's enough. It's probably fucking not though, dude, right? Alright, turn light. Turn light. Poster. Okay, so it's not that one. Tom. Hey, Tom. Flip. A Gift of Thorns, Alex Casey. You think Barry's got, fucking some kickbacks coming from those movies? I hope he does. Marketing Wake has got to be a tough sell for a lot of people. Okay. Oh no.
It's not enough.
You know, shit. Why did you've spent all this time talking about how what you imply is important and you have to be specific.
Shields, aren't you? What are you up to? It's a waste of time, buddy. You should just lie down and die. Let me take over. This is the only thing you've got coming to you. From here to eternity. No matter how many times you come back.
Not even gonna turn and fight, huh, Al? Just gonna accept it. Alright.
Time folds back on itself. Again, his senses scream as the very impossibility of what is happening assaults them. But the champion of light endures.
You really gotta come up with a better name for yourself.
Each time he gets a little closer. Each time another detail falls into place. Now the trap works against the Herald of Darkness.
I mean, did you know a jack-o'-lantern, like the phrase jack-o'-lantern, was for guardsmen carrying lanterns? That's a title for you. You're not exactly a champion of light. You're trying to keep something bad from happening to people that don't deserve it, right, Al? So, you would be a guardian. You carry a lantern, light up the night. You see what I'm getting at, pal? He's gonna keep calling himself the champion of light, though. Alan Wake's ego is the real monster.
Holy shit! What are you, the King Hillbilly?
You know what? You keep your distance. Okay. Takes 9 carbine shots. Carbine. I'm still back and forth on how that's supposed to be pronounced. Hang on. Aha. We'll give that here. Only 13 more of these to find.
Thor and Odin Anderson, old gods of Asgard. I still don't quite know what to make of them. I know they used to be rock stars who modeled their stage personas after Norse gods. I know they're old. I know that in their day they fought the darkness as I do. I know they're demented and insane, ravaged by age and self-abuse. But there's something in them, something powerful that took hold when they were touched by the powers beyond. A thing that goes far beyond just stage names. Something godlike.
I told you, Wake, it's that mantling thing. When I was born, I wasn't given the name Shuck.
Right on cue, bubbling to the surface from untold depths, the horrors come.
The horrors.
Do not expect the warm reception that has already been prepared for them.
No sick. You already plugged it in, huh? Well, let's switch it on. Honestly, the mechanic seems to want to change things the most. I'm glad that she's doing stuff while we're not here. That's a point in their favor. And the doctor, clearly smarter than Wake himself. Whoop. I turned that off, didn't I? My bad. There we go. I just wish that we could do the same with the drive-in lady. I forget what her title even is. She runs the art show, maybe the exhibits. Anyway, how do you like it a third time? Is it good a third time? It was super cool. We got opposition. We got opposition. Y'all know how it is. Yeah, you thought. Also, how do you guys have that dark shield with all this fucking fire around? I just don't, whatever.
Next stop, saving Emma.
I mean, I hope so. She certainly more than pulled her fucking weight on this one. Yeah, again, you know what? You know what? Does not seem to do actual damage. Oh. Oh, and his grenades will kill his friends. That's handy. Well, we've done it. Cool.
Is it bad that this time I just went, oh, he's gonna be right along to save my ass?
Not as long as I show up, I guess.
Now I see you in the distance. Got all four. Toasted. It's true, Pie. They were toasted. I toasted them. I did, dude. He's convalescing right now. We think he may have just like gotten his foot hooked in the cage and it's kind of bugging him. All's good though. He's had a nap and everything. Yeah, see, and now he's woken up from his nap and he has shit to say. You do.
Emma wasn't sure exactly when the man arrived at the motel, but from what she could tell, the party started almost immediately. It was infectious, spreading from one room to another. He was mercurial, almost as if he was flickering through the scene, telling a joke here, throwing an insult there, oozing sex and violence and excitement. She had never seen someone like this before. He looked at her and smiled, and she felt her heart flutter a little. She knew he was the kind of man mothers warn their daughters about, but she told herself it didn't matter.
I mean, if you say so. From all accounts, it sounds like he's the kind of guy that, like, STD PSAs warn you about. Fucking Scratch, absolutely, is the kind of scumbag to be like, I don't want to wear a condom, it dulls the feeling, you know? Yeah. Which chimed in that he'd fucking tell you that his dick wouldn't fit in it. He's the kind of guy that would unironically drop his Magnum condom for his Magnum dong. Alright, we got another one.
I have seen the darkness twist flesh into new shapes before, but encountering
What? When?
is an extremely disturbing experience. It's as if the genre has been switched on me. There's something out of Pulp Fiction. Twice as tall as normal men and stronger than forklifts, their lumbering gait and slow-witted demeanor brings to mind some kind of mean-spirited caricature of a feeble-minded hillbilly.
I mean, yeah, Wake. That's exactly what it is. And what was your quip again? What are you, King Hillbilly? Are you better, Wake? Are you better than Scratch? Because the implication is that Scratch wrote it, right? Nope, we're still good on all that. Okay, well. Come on, use your knees. Use your knees. Ah, god damn it. Come on. Fuck. Alright. Just bend your fucking legs, Wake. Anyway, give me this. 43, 10 more.
With all the herbs, crystals, and the rest of her New Age paraphernalia, Emma Sloan had been called a hippie and a freak and worse. It was that small-town mentality. She was a female mechanic, and even in 2011, there were always going to be backward shit-kickers who thought that was a hoot. She didn't mind. She could deal. She could take any engine apart, even the new ones with all the computers in them. Turned out that these boys were awful polite while waiting for her to put them back together.
Also, hey Emma, it looks like it looks like you own that shop. I don't see any other mechanics working, and I don't see anyone else's shit in there. So, like, you can refuse service to anyone, and that does mean fucking anyone. Well, that's flares. We don't really need flares. We pretty much got those. I'm sure we'll use some more of them. I'm sure there'll be like a bunch of spiders or something, and I'll go, no, that's okay, I don't feel like it. I'll just use a flare. But yeah, fucking Emma here. Setting up the trap and being like, yeah, okay, so now I gotta hide in here. And the dude will be along to shoot those things, great. And she's puzzling through it. We need more side characters like Emma. And we also need people to recognize that side character does not mean useless or only exists for some kind of fucking thing for the protagonist to interact with or to pass by or to affect. It just means that they're not the focus of this story. A side character should, if you were to view things from their perspective, be the star of their own story. Gotta have a lot of stuff going on. You don't have to necessarily spell all of it out if you are, oh. Okay. Well, the sand complicates things, but then their aura makes them easy to pick out of the sand, so. Anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Side characters, right. So, you don't have to explain or spell out absolutely everything that goes on there. You can leave it to the imagination, but, like, fucking, you should at least, as a story writer, imply that there are other things afoot and that people are doing things without the lead staring at them. Oh, that's just a Magnum. Okay, fucking... My brain went, ooh, a box, let's kick it open, and so we did. Oh, good. More flare gun ammo. Oh, hey. I mean, I guess, man, right? I guess. Boom. Did you step onto the lights there? It's brave, but stupid. Bye. Alright. Oh, I think we've kind of ransacked this place as much as we're going to be allowed to ransack it. Let's watch this thing, and then we'll probably call it quits. We'll talk to Emma and finish this loop the next time. But let's see what Scratch is doing.
So I've been thinking about Barry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do about him yet. I mean, I'm not going to keep him around, that's for sure. Al? Ugh, little parasite. Your best friend. Really? That's the best you can do? I actually kind of like the guy. He's a plucky little butterball. He plays the clown. That's a hard road to take. But I don't need him sticking his fat face in my business. Did you know he's been hanging out with the sheriff from that shitty little town? They keep in touch. Barry's about the only guy who insists that you're not dead. How about that? I might keep him alive for a while. Just to see him go to pieces when I fire his ass. Yeah.
I mean, he is now working with the old gods, so I don't... He could probably quit. He's doing some other stuff. Barry's got other things going on. Also, if you make an attempt on Barry's life, you would not survive the attempt. He's inventive. Dude's scrappy, not to be underestimated. He's not. Alright. I think this is where we're going to leave Alan for right now. We'll return to Emma later. We'll go over here. You know, where we go. And so, we see that Scratch is about as imaginative as Wake. He figured, well, my trap will just be a loop, rather than anything that may work as a trap. If your goal is to simply keep him there, why not just put him in a room, say a dark room, with a typewriter, and promise that if he just writes a little bit more, he's just this close to getting out. Just this close. A little more, and then a little more, and maybe a little more. Maybe a little more after that. No, go back and rewrite. You could trap him in his own practice, you know? It wouldn't be hard. Wake is basically clay in anyone's hands. But, you know, it's Scratch, and therefore Wake, and his ideas are... I don't want to say bowls in china shops because that insults the natural grace and poise of a bowl. Anyway, we'll leave you to wander alone for a little bit. See ya.